Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine at your home. Students, today we are going to study English of Standard 7th. In English today we are going to study one of the important poems, that is 3.4, The Brook. This poem is written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Okay students, before moving forward, first of all I would like to say thanks to my subscribers, those who have liked it, shared it, commented below the video and subscribed it. Thank you all and be connected. Students, now here we are going to study one of the important poems, that is The Brook. Yes student, what do you mean by The Brook? Yes, do you know the meaning of brook? If you know the meaning of brook, you can type your answer in the comment box. Okay student, this is a long poem of 12 stanzas. Each stanza has 4 lines. Okay student, so it will take time or this video will be somewhat lengthy. So students, have patience and watch the video completely. Okay student, then you can understand in a better way the poem The Brook. Yes student, the brook means a small stream. When do you see brooks or small streams? Yeah, in rainy season most of the time we see the brooks or the small streams. Okay, most of the times from the hilly area, mountainous area or from the hilltops, the brook starts flowing. Okay students, so here we are going to learn about the brook or a stream. But student, here one of the interesting things is that here in this poem the brook or a small stream speaks itself. Okay, the brook is telling its own story, so it is going to be very interesting. Okay student, so without wasting time, let's get started with the poem. Students, first of all I will read the poem stanza by stanza and I will explain line by line. Okay student, so first I will read the stanza and then I will explain one by one. Okay. I come from haunts of coot and hern. I make a sudden sally and sparkle out among the fern to bicker down a valley. So student, in the first stanza, in the first line of the stanza, the brook says that I come from such a place that it is haunted by some birds. For example, coot and fern. Okay student, so these coot and fern are the names of bird. Okay student, haunted means what? The place which is oftenly visited by something. So what do you mean by haunt? Haunt means a place that one visits oftenly. Okay student, so here the brook is coming from such a place that there it always haunted by the birds coot and fern. The second line of the stanza says that it make a sudden sally. Yes student, what do you mean by making sudden sally? It means here the brook makes or moves quickly ahead. Okay, it means it attacks suddenly. Okay student, so actually here the brook is not attacking but it is moving forward quickly. Suddenly it moves forward or it makes movement. Suddenly it makes a quicker movement. So it actually the brook is saying that it starts its journey quickly or suddenly. It starts its journey of flowing suddenly. It sparkle out among the friend. Yes student, here once it starts its journey and now it sparkles. What do you mean by sparkles student? Sparkles means shine. So here the brook has started its journey and it moves forward, as well as now it is shining among the friend. What is friend here student? Friend means a flowerless plants. So the brook is shining among the flowerless plants. Yes, most of the time, and students, we know that brooks or streams flow down from the valley. Okay, it falls or it flows from a height. Okay, and when it flows from the valleys, it makes a noise. Yes, have you listened ever the noise of flowing streams from the valleys? It makes a noise, that is patter. Yes, If you have listened it, you can type in the comment box yes or no. Students, here in the first stanza, the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson has used rhyming words. Yes, student, do you know what is rhyming word? Rhyming words means at the end of line, it ends with the similar sound. Yes, student, keep it in mind. It should end with a similar sound, not similar spelling. Sometimes spelling may be similar, but sound may be different one. So we have to pay attention on the sounds. If the line ends with the similar sound, then it is known as rhyming word. Okay. So in the first stanza, there are two pairs of rhyming words. One is fen and han. Okay, and second one is valley and valley. Okay, students, have understood this much? Okay, very good. Students, now we shall study the second stanza. Okay, first of all, I will read the second stanza, then I will explain line by line. Okay. By 30 hills I hurry down, or slip between the ridges. By 20 tops a little town, and half 100 bridges. Now student, in the second stanza also, the brook or a stream narrates its story continuously. Okay students, in the first stanza already it has started its journey. Now in the second stanza it explains its own journey and how long does it flow. Okay, so let's have a look. Student, it says that it moves, it runs, it rushes down 30 hills. Yes student, what it is saying, that it is rushed through 30 hills. Yes, it passes through 30 hills and it slide down, it glide down in between the narrow hilltops. Yes student, just now I told you most of the streams flow in between the narrow hilltops. It flows in between the valleys. It flows down or it slides down from a very narrow hilltops, as well as it rushes by the side of 20 tops. Yes student, it rushes by the side of 20 tops. Yes, what do you mean by tops student? Tops means villages. Yes student, so it rushes by the side of 20 tops and a little town. Yes student, what is difference between village and town now? Yes, town is smaller than city and larger than village. So here the brook tells us that it rushes by the side of 20 villages and one city. At the last, it crosses half 100 bridges. It crosses half 100 bridges. Student, half 100 bridges means what? 50 bridges. It passes 50 bridges. Yes students, at the last we can understand that how long the journey of the brook is. Have you understood this much? Very good. Now student, in this stanza also there is a pair of rhyming words. The first one is down, town, and second one is ridges and bridges. Okay student, have you understood this much? Very good. Now we will study the third stanza. First of all, I will read the third stanza and then I will explain line by line. Okay students? Till last by Phillips's farm I flow to join the brimming river. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Students, in the third stanza, the brook tells us that at last or at the end, it flows by the side of a farm of Philip. Students, here who is Philip? We don't know. Okay, actually Philip is the owner of one of the farms from where the brook flows. As we know students, the streams flow by the side of farms. In the same way here also this stream flows by the side of one of the farms, that is farm of Philip. Okay student, here we do not have any reference of Philip. Philip is unknown here. Okay student, have you understood this much? Very good. Yes, it flows by the side of Philip to join the overflowed river. The river is already overflowed, but it is joining to the river student. Okay student, have you understood this much? Yes, even the river is overflowed, but even though the stream do not stop here, it goes on or it continuously flowing into the river. So the brook says that men may come and men may go. Okay, student, men may come and men may go. What does it mean? It means that man is temporary, okay, but the flowing of stream is eternal. Okay, student, have you understood this much? Very good. Students, in the third stanza we find a pair of rhyming words. Okay, for example, flow and go. See student, here the spelling of flow is Flow and go. So there may be difference in spelling, but sounds are similar one. When the sounds are matching together, that is called as rhyming word. Flow, go. Okay, and the second rhyming word is river and ever. Okay, student, have you understood? Very good. Now student, we shall study the fourth stanza. I chatter o'er stony ways in little sharps and trebles. I bubble into adding bays. I babble on the pebbles. Students, in the fourth stanza also, the brook continues with its experiences or narration of experiences. Students, in the fourth stanza, it says that it chats with the stony ways. How are the ways, student? Stony ways. Okay, we know that in the river or in the stream we have or it has what? Stones or gravels. The brook is saying that it chats with the stony ways. Chats means what, student? Here actually chatting means murmuring. Murmuring means what? Without any meaning, when we speak, that is called as murmur or chatter. So here it speaks with the small pieces of stones, or as well as it makes noise. As it flows down, it creates a music that is treble. What do you mean by treble, students? Treble is referred here for the high tone music. Okay, student, it means that when the stream flows down and speaks with the stones or the small pieces of stones, it makes a high frequency music, or it creates high frequency music. So it makes music when it passes through a sharp edged stones. Okay, student, when the water hits to the sharp edged stones, it creates music that is called as sharp. Sharp and trebles, these words are used to show the musical aspect of the poem. Students, when the stream meets at a basin, it moves in a circular way. Yes, sometimes we see that water is moving us in a circular way. It forms a spiral movement. Okay, student, it forms a spiral movement. Okay, student, when it happens, when the stream meets in a basin or it enters in a basin of water. When it enters in the basin of water, it creates bubbles, small bubbles. It makes continuous murmuring music, murmuring sound on the pebbles. Yes, student, what do you mean by pebbles here? Pebbles means a small rounded stone made smooth and round by the flow of water. Yes, student, have you understood this much? Very good. Now, here also we can see some rhyming words. The first one is ways and bays. And second one is trebles and pebbles. Okay, student, have you understood this much? Very good. Students, now we shall study the fifth stanza. Okay, first I will read it. With many a curve my banks I freight, by many a field and fallow, and many a fairy foreland set, with willow, weed and mallow. Students, in the fifth stanza, again the brook tells us about its journey. Okay, student, it tells us about the area or the region where from it runs. It tells us that it flows with its curved banks. Yes, student, we know that the banks of river or streams are curved. Okay, student, curve means what? Bended or looped one. It flows with the curved banks. Okay, and as well as it freight by many field and fallow, and many a fairy lands. Yes, student, what does the brook tells us here? That it flows with its curved bank and it appears to many lands. For example, many fields, many fallow. What do you mean by fallow? Yes, uncultivated land, unused land. Okay, the land which is not in use. So it appears to such kind of land which is uncultivated, unused. Okay, students, have you understood this much? Very good. Now, as well as it appears to a fairy land also, or it appears to the border line of fairy land. It is bordered with the wild plants. Yes, the borders of fairyland was bordered with the wild plants. Yes, students. So it appears to it also. Students, the borderline of the fairyland was bordered with the wild plants such as willow weeds and mallow. Yes, students, willow weeds and mallow, all these are types of wild plants. Yes, students, have you understood this much? Very good. Now we will learn about the rhyming words in this stanza. The first one is fret, set. The second one is fallow, mallow. Okay, students, have you understood this much? Very good. Students, now we shall study the sixth stanza. Okay, students, so let me read first. I chatter, chatter as I flow to join the brimming river. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Now, students, in the sixth stanza also, the brook or the stream tells us about its chatting with the water. It continues to speak, or it continues to make the noise, or as it flows it makes noise. Yes, chatter, chatter, these words shows that it makes noise. Okay, so the brook tells us here that it continues to flow and continues to make noise like chatter, chatter, and it flows to join the already overflowed river. Yes, the river is overflowed, but it joined to it. Okay, student. Again, in this stanza, the poet repeats the line that for men may come and men may go. Okay, and the last line, that is, but I go on forever. Yes, again the brook meets to the river, but it didn't stop here again. So it flows into the river. Okay, students, have you understood this much? Very good. Now we will learn about the rhyming words from this stanza. The first one is flow, go. The second one is river, ever. Yes, student, have you understood? Now we will learn the next stanza. So first of all, I will read the next stanza and then we will have explanation. I wind about and in and out, with here a blossom sailing, and here and there a lusty trout, and here and there a grayling. Students, in the seventh stanza, the brook tells us that when it winds about. Yes, student, what do you mean by winds about? When it begins to move on the surface of the earth, it moves in and out with the mass of flowers in the spring. The flowers or blossoms sails on the surface of water, as well as at the same time the brook found here and there a lusty trout. Yes, student, what do you mean by lusty trout? A lusty trout means a healthy and strong edible fish. Okay, student. So it is a type of fish that men can eat. With the lusty trout, the brook found a grayling also. What do you mean by grayling, students? Here the grayling also an edible fish. Okay, students. Mostly this fish is found in the fresh water. Yes, students, have understood this much? Very good. Now we will learn the rhyming words from this stanza. The first one is out, trout. The second one is sailing, grayling. Okay, students? Now we shall study the next stanza. And here and there a foamy flake upon me as I travel, with many a silvery water break above the golden gravel. In this eighth stanza, again the brook or the stream describes the same thing. Okay, it explains, it narrates its experience. As it travels, when it travels, it saw or it found a foamy flake on the surface of this stream. Okay, foamy flake means what, student? Foamy means a layer of bubbles, a small tiny bubbles, and flake means a layer or a mass of something. So here or the stream found on its surface the foamy flake, okay, during its travel. It means that the surface of the stream is full of the small bubbles. Students, as the brook move forward or move ahead, it breaks with many a silver water breaks. Yes, student, what do you mean by water breaks? You know brakes. Because of the brakes, we slow down our bike or our car or our automobile. In the same way, the stream found some irregularities on the bottom of the water so that the speed of the stream gets slowed down. It tells us that the speed of stream gets slowed down because of the water breaks, and the water breaks are silvery, and these silvery water breaks are above the golden gravels. Yes, student, what do you mean by gravels? If you know the meaning of gravels, type the answer in the comment box. Okay, it's very good. Gravel means the round shaped stones, and it is described as golden here. How is the gravel here? The gravel is golden here. Okay, good. Now we will study the rhyming words from this stanza. The first one is flake, water break. The second one is travel, gravel. Okay, student. Now we shall study the next stanza, that is ninth one. And draw them all along and flow to join the brimming river. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Students, in the 7th and 8th stanza, the brook tells us about sailing blossom, lusty trout, grayling, foamy flake, and golden gravel. Okay, student. Now, in this stanza, the brook tells us that it drag all these things along with it to join the overflowed river. Okay, students. So, the stream brings all those things with it and join to the overflowed river. Okay, students. And when it joined to the overflowed river, it continues flowing into the river. So it says that for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Yes, students, have understood this much? Very good. Now we will study the rhyming words from this stanza. The first one is flow, go. The second one is river, ever. Okay, students? Yes, now we shall study the next stanza. I sleep, I glide, I gloom, I glance. Among my scheming swallows, I make the naked sunbeam dance against my sandy shallows. In the 10th stanza, the brook tells us that it sleeps, it slides, it glides, or moves in dark places and hit something and bounce off. Yes, student, it hits and bounce off. It hits something and bounce off. It sees that the swallows means what, student? Swallows are birds. Okay, so here the birds touches the surface of the stream and again fly away. Okay, students, it touches the brook lightly and fly quickly over the stream, and it seems that the sun rays are dancing and forming a netted pattern against its sandy surface or shallows. Okay, students, have you understood this much? Very good. Students, the rhyming words from this stanza are glance, dance, and swallows, shallows. Okay, student, have you understood? Very good. Now we shall study the 11th stanza. I murmur under moon and stars in brambly wilderness. I linger by my shiny bars. I loiter round my creases. Students, in this 11th stanza, the brook tells us that in the prickly scrambling scrub, which are very wild. Yes, student, here the scrubs are prickly as well as wild. And here the brook whispers, chats with it. The brook whispers here, chats here under the moon and star. Okay, student, have you understood this much? Yes. Again, the brook tells us that it spends a lot of time by the side of river in the pebbles. It spends a long time over its small rounded pebbles by the side of the bank of rivers. And it moves around the plants which have green leaves. Have you understood this much? Very good. Now the rhyming words from this stanza. The first one is stars, bars. The second one is wilderness and creases. Okay? Yes. Now student, we are going to learn the last stanza and the 12th stanza of this poem, that is, and out again I curve and flow to join the brimming river. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Students, in the last stanza also, the brook tells us that it turns and flows to meet, to join the already overflowed river. Okay, students, you know that now. When it meets to the river, again it continues to flow into the river. So here it says that for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Yes, students, have you understood this much? Yes, students. So today we have learned the poem The Brook by the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson. Okay, students. Now in the next video we are going to study the critical analysis of this poem or the appreciation of this poem. If you want to learn more about this poem as well as the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson, be connected with me. And if you want to be connected with me and learn more, then subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Okay, student. If you have liked this video, like it, share it to your friends, comment below the video, and do not forget to subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will get current notification of new videos. Thank you. Be connected.